Hi, I'm Steve Martin, and I'm proud to serve as Commissioner of one of the most exciting community college athletic conferences in the country. Home of national champions, professional athletes, and scholars. Greatness begins here. And today, I would like to officially announce that we're changing our name from the Mississippi Association of Community and Junior Colleges, MACCC, to the Mississippi Association of Community Colleges Conference, the MACC. As the MACC, our new branding will include a new logo, a new website and social media platforms, as well as a new smartphone app, MACC Sports, which will launch this football season. Please join us as we celebrate new ways for our fans to stay connected with the MACC and our student athletes. Join us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MACCC Athletics. Today, we are holding our inaugural Football Media Day as the MACC. We hope you enjoy hearing from our coaches, student athletes, and support staff. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you at the MACC.
Good day, everyone. My name is Steve Bishop. I serve as president at Southwest Mississippi Community College. I also serve as the chairman of the Mississippi Association of Community Colleges. And on behalf of all of the presidents of all 15 community colleges, I would like to welcome you to today's Media Day. Also, I would like for each of you to consider visiting the brand new website, the MACCC website, and follow your favorite team. Also, we would encourage you to notice our new app, as well as follow each of the colleges and follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I encourage you to stay in touch and stay in tune with things going on in the MACCC. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Jane Hulon Sims, and I am the president of Copiah Lincoln Community College, one of the winners of the 2018-2019 Halbrook Award for the Community College Division. Copiah Lincoln was thrilled to receive this prestigious recognition, which is presented to a Mississippi community college that maintains and achieves high academic standards for its student athletes, thus encouraging high graduation rates. The award is presented at the annual MACC conference to the institution with the highest percentage of graduating student athletes. It is a great acknowledgement of the hard work and dedication of coaches, faculty, staff, advisors, and student athletes who all work together to achieve the ultimate collegiate goal, graduation. Copiah Lincoln is grateful to the Halbrook family for establishing this special award and celebrates this achievement with each of our athletic programs.
You guys got your rings last couple of weeks. What does that symbolize about last season and what you all accomplished?
I mean, anytime you win as a group and have a major accomplishment, which I consider that a major accomplishment, it just honors that group that was together. That was the 2019 Bulldogs, undefeated national champions. So any kind of recognition that you can get your staff and your players, it's just very pleasing.
What do you see as the strengths of your returning players?
The strength of our whole probably team that's coming back is the linebacker position. We've got Navonte Strong, Mike Smith, Malik Jones, and C.J. Williams back that all played a ton of football as true freshmen last year. They were a key piece of having a really good defense. So having them back in the middle of the defense, I think, is a definite strength. Also, some very good returning DBs. So I would say the back end of our defense is probably what we're going to have to lean on.
What do you like as what your newcomers will bring to fill in the rest of the roster?
We're able to fill our needs, and there were a lot of needs, Don. I mean, we're complete overhaul at quarterback. A lot of new running backs. Most of our production at running back left. We have several really good offensive linemen coming back that are going to mix with a strong class there. So I think there's a lot of question marks at quarterback. I think there's some question marks at running back. At receiver, we've got a lot of production coming back. So I would say just common sense would tell you we need to develop the running backs and quarterbacks pretty early in camp.
What advantages do you think you have here at Gulf Coast that have kind of helped with the success of the program?
From top to bottom here, everybody is bought into the idea of excellence, and I think that goes into look at the facilities that we have, look at the support that we have, look at how far our teachers are willing to go to help student athletes out. So I would just say, just an overall vision. It's a team effort here, and I'm just fortunate enough to be sitting in the head coach chair. But everybody here is on board as far as making things as good as it can possibly be for our student athletes in their time at Gulf Coast.
Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College is here to help you do more with your future. We're committed to creating a campus of opportunity. Whether you're training for a new career, looking to transfer, or just starting your college journey, we can help. Our structure is built around convenience. And as always, we're committed to offering a quality education that's affordable for all of our students. You'll thrive with access to world-class instructors and excellent student support services. Apply online today.
Hit record. All right, Jalen, what was last year like for you, winning the national championship and everything y'all went through and got accomplished last season?
Last season it was truly a blessing, for us to go all the way to the national championship. First of all, and it was a great experience just getting outside of Jackson, because I'm from Jackson and all I've seen ever since I've been born was Jackson. So it was great to get outside of Jackson to kind of see the other cities in Mississippi. It was a great experience.
How did you and the other players on the offense kind of fit into the system, and how did the system let you guys accomplish the things that you did?
Well, Coach Bam, our receiver coach, he does a good job with the receivers, and he kind of just lets us go out there and we kind of just do our own thing. We just play the way we play football. There's no way you can coach athletic ability. There's no way you can coach talent. So he just kind of let us go out there and just do our own thing. So that's one thing that I love about Coach Bam.
What do you see as your goal for this year?
Oh, well, of course, we're trying to go back to, get another ring. I don't know about how everything's going to go because of COVID and the national championship, but, the task at hand, of course, is state championship. So, beat everybody on the schedule, playoffs, and then, just in the record with a 0 record,
Is there like a Gulf Coast way that you guys get things done, like in attitude and work ethic, and how would you describe it?
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, since day one, I came late, but ever since day one, it kind of has been a brothership, a brotherhood. Ever since day one, we kind of just locked in that if we want to win, if we want to win big, we got to win together. So we had to do everything together, and we just had to fight every day.
You earned NJCAA and MACCC academic awards. How is that important to you and the team, getting things done in the classroom?
Well, of course, it's important to me first because the goal at hand of any college, whether I'm playing collegiate sports or not, grades are essential to life. And I try to implement that on my teammates as well as my receivers. Grades will get you by further than football will. So you just try to put grades before we do anything on the field.
You got a favorite memory from last year?
Favorite memory. Oh, of course, my favorite memory was Hines' game. I kind of had a good game that game. The one-hand catch. It was down. Hines came out strong, but I had to come back. Come back and put 7 more points up on the board so we could be right there with them.
All right, Coach Parker, first and foremost, this is a very different year in a lot of circumstances. It's always different when you lose several guys off of last year's team. Turnover is something you are used to here every season, but now you have the pandemic and the uncertainty on top of that. But first of all, when you look at last year, what are you hoping to take away from last year's successes and also missteps, and what are you hoping to improve on heading into this year?
Well, Brian, probably like anything else, we did have a really good year. We came up short, and in the championship game, a game that we felt like we could have won, had a really good chance. Give Gulf Coast a lot of credit. They won the game in the fourth quarter. We tell our guys all the time, you play a good team, you're going to have to win in the fourth quarter. But we've got a lot to build off from last year. So, and we've got a few guys coming back, not a whole lot, that understand what it takes to get to that game and win that game. But we'll have a lot of guys that don't, because we'll have a lot of freshmen and that kind of stuff. But there's some positives from last year. But the negatives, we let a couple of games get away from us that we thought we could have and should have won. The other team outplayed us, and that's sometimes how the ball bounces. So we'll see, but we're looking forward to it. It'll be here before you know it, and maybe we can put together another good team.
With so many schedule changes so far, and still, another schedule is set to come out. It's a 6-game only division schedule. Kind of a two-part question here. Number one, how does that affect y'all's team's mindset and goals and plans heading into the season? And number two, you're at least certain to play those division opponents. What are you expecting out of the North Division? Just kind of that two-part question.
Well, first of all, the schedule, I'm not sure if it's going to be a 1 or 2 game playoff, but we won't look that far right now because I don't even know how they're going to do the schedule. Whoever it is, whenever it comes out, that'll be our focus. Number one is try to win that first ball game. And I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
The second part was the second question was just knowing that you at least have your division opponents on the schedule. What is it you're expecting out of your MACC North Division opponents? MACC North Division opponents going forward?
Yeah, well, all those, they'll have good teams like they all, East Mississippi will have a good team as they always do. Itawamba and Holmes, that guy's doing a great job. And then, one of my former assistants, Travis Makins, the new head coach at Kahoma, and he'll do an unbelievable job. He do a really good job recruiting and coaching and having discipline in that program. So it'll be a tough. The North Division will be tough as usual.
Finally, what is your number one goal for this year's team once you get them on the field, and what's going to be the biggest challenge in getting your team to achieve that goal in that mindset?
Well, our number one goal is, we want to try to win. When you start talking about get to a championship and get to a bowl game and that kind of stuff, that's hard. And We don't ever really talk about that at the first of the season or middle of the season. We just try to win every day, and get better every single day. And that's kind of what we usually do. And later on in the season, if we're fortunate enough to say, hey, we win this and we might be in the championship game, but we just try to focus day at a time and get better every single day. It's kind of what we try to do.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Vance Van Every here with us, returning offensive lineman at Northwest. Vance, first and foremost, you played on a very solid offensive line unit last season, an All-American in National Gist, and several others that have gone on to play Division I football. And you're one of the few returners coming back off that unit. When you look back at last year, what would you say has contributed the most to your growth from your freshman season heading into this year?
I know I was just super fortunate to come in with 6 offensive linemen. You usually don't get that. 6 sophomores, you usually don't get that at a junior college, and they really took me under their wing. And, of course, we got Coach Jones, and he's the best coach I've ever had. So just taking that out from last season, I want to continue to lead that on into the next season with the freshmen coming in.
Just a lot of uncertainty, like I was telling Coach Parker earlier, a lot of uncertainty with trying to field the team in the midst of a pandemic. That's led to a few schedule changes. Just y'all haven't been able to really been here working out in the field house like you would have normally in the spring. What have you been doing in the off season to kind of stay in shape and keep preparing? Has it affected your preparation at all?
I think yeah, it definitely has because, when you don't have someone telling you what to do, then you're usually not going to do it. That being said, I try to stay in the weight room, 5 or 6 days a week and get a little cardio in with that. But, nothing's going to replace, being here with the team, footwork, drills, your coach telling you what you're doing wrong. So, yeah, it's definitely affected us.
When you have looked at the incoming signing class coming in, of course, rosters can change, things can change. There's one thing we learned in 2020, anything can change. But when you looked at our incoming signing class coming in, how excited are you heading into this season and what those young freshmen can bring to the table?
Shoot, I'm super excited. I know a couple of them personally. I know we've got some good guys. I talked to Coach Jones a little bit, and I'm just super excited about playing this season, just having the opportunity to play. I know some people aren't even able to play, and I think we're going to have a good year.
When you look back at last season, once again, compare it to this season, what was maybe one of the most disappointing outcomes of last year, and what are you hoping to change about that heading into this season?
Obviously we fell short in the state championship. We also fell short in 2 in-season games. So that's always something you want to improve on. You always want to go undefeated, I want to go 6-0 this year. I want to play the playoffs, win those out, and I'm excited about what's going to happen.
Lastly, just you as a person, we talked to Coach Parker about his goals for the team, but what is your number one goal in terms of growth this year, both personally and as a player? What are you hoping to improve on the most?
I want to get my strength up, 100%. Yeah, I want to get my strength up. I don't even know. We might need to cut that part.
Yeah. I'm making a little bit of think here.
All right.
Softball. Like I said, this only has to be 3 minutes, but I know we're still a little bit of time to do. Think here.
When it comes to choosing a college that's right for you, the decision should be easy. Northwest Mississippi Community College provides quality education at a price to fit your budget. Study an academic pathway or a technical program and pursue a career in your field of study, or continue your education after graduation. At almost 1/3 the cost of other tech schools and universities in the area, Northwest offers the full college experience whether you choose to live on campus or commute. Go to northwestms.edu/TV to learn more.
Here with head football coach Steve Buckley, entering your 5th season. Of course, unforeseen times. You're going to play a 6-game division-only schedule. First off, what are the benefits of playing a 6-game schedule, and then where does that kind of hurt you on the back end of a 6-game schedule?
Nothing's normal right now. I mean, everything is about as abnormal as it can be, but it is what it is. It's the hand we're dealt, so we're just going to proceed on, one day at a time. Playing a 6-game schedule, I think, is a great idea. And number one, it gets kids recruited. It gives them an opportunity to get games in, to get them on film, to get evaluated by the 4-year schools. Would we like to play a full schedule? Absolutely. But at the same time, right now we got to take what we can get. And I think with the presidents, the ADs meeting and deciding a South Division schedule, a North Division schedule, I personally think it's the way to go right now to give our kids the best chance to graduate in December and to get recruited. Well, I can't tell you that it hurts us any. I think that, from a standpoint of kids being able to leave, we've had 5 to 6 kids leave our program in the last 2 weeks, which is very understandable. Why waste a year on a 6-game schedule is the way some of them are looking at it, and I get that. I understand it. At the same time, I don't know that it hurts us. I think it helps more kids by doing this because for us, for example, we still have several kids that will get offers, but they don't have offers right now.
It could be you play 2 games, you have an off week, and then you play the remaining 4. What do you do with a full extra week of practice?
Well, number one, you make sure everybody's healthy. And open dates are always good if you look at it that way. A lot of times it breaks your momentum if you're on a roll, offensively, defensively, whatever. But, I don't look at it that way. I think it gives us a break, to make sure everybody's healthy. We're playing with a limited roster, obviously. We're 5 short right now, still trying to find guys. But, it just gets legs back. We're going to spend the whole month of August and September practicing. So a break in there, wherever it falls, will be okay with us.
Talk about your philosophy about getting kids out.
Well, I'm just honest and real about it, Kevin. We're a developmental program. We try to develop kids in 3 areas: academic, socially, and athletically. And, all 3 of those go hand in hand. And we want a kid prepared in all 3 areas when they leave our program to succeed at the next level. I think we brought 108 kids into the program in the 4 years previous that we've been here, and 95 of those guys have gone on and signed with 4-year schools. That number just got pushed with 5 kids fixing to sign. Actually speaking today, I think we've got 2 or 3 signing. We had one that signed with North Carolina State last week. So, it's our philosophy. We play numbers, and a lot of our sophomores right now played as freshmen. I think honestly we only have 2 starters returning on offense and 2 on defense, but that's okay. We've got 6 or 7 kids on each side of the ball that had quality reps last year. We play everybody. Our roster, whatever it is, we're going to play them and get them game film and get them exposed the best we can.
Not only have you won games on the field, but academically, you've been the MACCC Academic Team of the Year the last 2 years. You were the National Team of the Year in 2018.
Well, Kevin, it starts with Carla Collins. She's our athletic coordinator. She handles everything academically with our kids. We, like most junior colleges, have a program in place where you can graduate in three semesters by going to summer school. And if the kids will listen to what we tell them to do, go to class and take care of business in the classroom, there's no reason they can't. A lot of kids come from backgrounds where there's not a lot of structure. I think that's the number one thing that we try to accomplish walking in the door, getting these kids structured academically, doing things at the same time, the same way, not waiting to the last minute to do assignments. And, we have had a lot of success with that. Thank goodness our administration has given us the flexibility of a brand new academic center right next to our brand new team room. And we've kept the same academic coordinator, so there's a lot of continuity going on there with our kids.
We're visiting with the McLaurin brothers here at Jones College.
My name is Herschel McLaurin. My name is Marquil McLaurin.
Played different positions in high school, but you're going to play a different position here at Jones. Hershey, start with you.
I played quarterback in high school. Now I play safety at Jones. I played multiple positions, but I'm playing receiver at Jones.
You guys were here with the program in the spring, albeit short because of a COVID shutdown, but academically, you were academic all MACCC, so you've been in the classroom. Then you also did some conditioning with Jones. So just in the short time that you've been with the program so far, how do you feel like, the structure is? How do you feel like the way it's set up for you to succeed?
I always set up good. It's made to get you better and just build you to the next level. And I think that we're going to have to do something great here at Jones.
What goals do you have set for yourself coming into the season? Starting with you, Hershey.
First goal is to win a championship because it's about a team first, and then my goal is to have about 5 to 7 picks.
Yeah, I plan on getting the team a national championship and leading receiving yard.
Now, you are coming from Southern Miss, spent one season there last year, so you have that 4-year experience. What do you feel like maybe that brings to Jones that, hey, I've played with some of the big boys in the Conference USA. What about that experience do you think you bring to Jones?
Well, I can teach a lot of guys how the speed goes. It's a faster speed than what in high school, but it's all the same at the end of the day.
You know, you guys are local, not too far down the road. What was the big selling point for Jones? Was it the success? Did you have former teammates that played here? You know, ultimately, what was your decision to come to Jones?
Well, the success, and then they showed us love, and they showed us that it's more than just football. It's our family first, so that sold us, and then us playing together again made it even better.
How was that last year? You know, a full year not playing on the field together. What was that like?
It was weird. I ain't never not played with them, so me not playing with them, I just needed to play with them again, so we came to Jones together.
So, Marquise, you got the nickname Hershey. Tell me about that.
Well, I named myself Hershey because my auntie used to call me cornbread, and I told her I ain't like that name, so I just called myself Hershey. Then I'm dark skinned, so it just adds up.
I mean, I didn't know you could give yourself your own nickname. I thought somebody had to give you a nickname.
I had gave myself that because my auntie gave me the wrong nickname.
And it stuck.
I got a couple nicknames. I got a nickname Cornbread and Cat Eye.
Okay, so he didn't like the name Cornbread, so you took it.
Yeah, they call it both of them.
Both of them? Okay. How are you guys staying focused? And then what are you doing to keep your bodies healthy and everything? Just the uncertainty of not knowing when we're going to play.
Well, the most important thing we need to do is stay in shape and keep communicating between us and the coach and our teammates to make sure everybody stay ready.
And I just work out, stay in shape, so whenever the time do come, I'll be ready and prepared.
Here, you can be your best. The best train here. Learn here. Succeed here. Perform here. Win here. Thrive here. Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Well, Sean, got the news that football season going to be rolling around in October this year. So kind of take us through that process of getting to the point where we are today.
Yeah, when we got cut loose here, I guess around March, and, everything was kind of up in the air. And then I guess we went from having no season to move to the spring, and now we've had a chance to come back and be able to play in the fall, kicking our season back to October, which I think all the coaches in our league, and I know the players, they all want to get our season in. And we as coaches prepared for two seasons. We looked at kind of treating this semester, the fall semester, as a spring type of period, and then then looking at the springtime being a fall, playing games and that type thing. So we've had two different plans, but getting the kids back here for school and starting classes and everything, and then getting them back in the swing because we didn't have that spring practice to go through, and so a lot of them are going to be rusty. But I think it was a great idea to have them where at least we had 6 weeks of practice, to get ourselves ready before we actually played a ball game.
So what are going to be some of your early goals to get ready for the October, since you didn't have that spring?
Well, I think the first couple weeks, we've got an acclimatization period. We got to be out in just helmets for 3 days, basically just shorts and t-shirts for 3 days, helmets for a couple days, and then you put on pads, and it's kind of a gradual process. But really, what I've really thought about is just treating it just like a spring practice, where we're going to go out there from day one and start reteaching everything, and I think because you don't feel like you're under the gun with only having those, in the past, those 22 practice opportunities before you play, and so you feel like you got to just be real fast at getting everything in. But take our time, show them where we want them to go, where to line up, where to be, and really special teams. And so when you really start getting your physical work in, most of the mental stuff hopefully is they've got. So that's probably going to be our plans first couple of weeks, be able to, just work on ourselves, and then we'll get into some competition stuff, and then probably the last week and a half, kind of like we normally would, start preparing for our first opponent, when it gets closer to game week. But not playing in the last Thursday of August and all of September is going to be a little bit weird. So, but I think it's going to give the kids a little more time to be off. Not have to practice many times on the weekend like we normally would, and kind of give them a little time to get away and all those things like that. So I think that's going to be kind of our plan moving forward.
Well, if there's ever a season that you would want to have more sophomores coming back than freshmen coming in, this would be that season, and that's kind of the case for you. You've got a core of sophomores coming in, mixed with a really, really good recruiting class of freshmen.
Yeah, really miss spring. That was going to be one of our key. We were looking forward to spring as coaches because last year I think we had 5 linemen, period, 3 D linemen and 2 O linemen. This year we were going to have 9 and 8, and kind of reminds us of the spring we had when Dan and Terry and those guys were coming in their sophomore year. We had enough to actually practice and have a spring game, and that was really what we were looking forward to. But as a coach, you want them to have that couple of months window there to get in the weight room and everything, and that's when we were really getting after that part of the time. And then then once it happened after spring break, we didn't come back. So hopefully we can get these new guys caught up pretty quick in that in the time that we do have. But going to rely on those sophomores because they've been in the ball games, they know what it's going to be like, and they know, and it's like every year, it seems like forever before it gets here, and then you look up and the season's gone. So it'll be really a lot quicker this year just with playing our 6 division games. But we got to be ready to go. We can't have any mess ups, and don't get a lot of opportunities and to get those get those games in.
Well, I know it's a long way to October right now, but talk about some of your sophomores that you're going to be leaning on coming in this season.
Yeah, got a lot of production back. Lost Clark Mills, lost Hiram. Those are big punch offensively last year, but. Feel like we got some capable receivers back. Barry Flowers was a first-team All-State guy last year, All-Region, that did a lot of production for us. Quay Davis, that's going to play a multiple role for us this year, running back, receiver type guy. A lot of offensive linemen back, but always going to be the question mark of who the quarterback is, and I think we've got a couple of guys there that are going to be vying for that position, and the good thing is we've got a lot of practice time now to get them back to where we need to get them to. R.J. Wilson came on last year, Jamarcus Qualls came on last year in our running back position, so excited about the offense just because of we're probably older on that side of the ball than we're on defense, but defensively, last year I think we were 10 out of 10, none of our D linemen ever taken a snap in a college game, and I think we got 8 of those 10 back. Or maybe 9 of those 10. We lost, only 1 last year with Shaquille. And then linebacking core, going to count on Corley Hooper, Keaton Cager, those guys that played a lot for us last year as the season went on, especially. So those guys have got to pick up where they left from. And then defensive back wise, you got Peyton Ray back, who we got a lot of mileage out of last year in the secondary. Ralph Dunn from Pontotoc, who played a lot for us. So, those guys are going to be key. And then breaking in a new kicker this year, but we got our punter and our snapper back again. So hopefully a lot of continuity goes on from from a lot of those positions. But it'll be a wait and see game before we till we get them out there to get them going for sure.
That's home. That's just like the Ravens. That's just like Pahokee, Florida. That's my second home. I got my degree from there, my first degree, college degree. It's part of my heart, it's part of my soul, it's part of my spirit. And, it's everything. Itawamba Community College, baby, it's everything. It shaped me up to being a great man because it was part of the journey of me becoming the young man I am today. And it's home, man. That's it. Like, I could go there and lay my head down without no problems. Itawamba Community College, the best start here.
All right, Barry, so it's been an interesting ride for you heading into your sophomore season. You didn't have spring practice. You go from playing in the fall to the spring, now back to playing in the fall. So what's that been like for you?
It's been hard knowing that we couldn't come together as a team in the spring and get our practices in like we usually do. But we're just going to have to come together and find a way to do what we can with this pandemic going on. So see what we can do this season.
All right, so last season we saw you guys grow a lot from game one to the end of the year, and of course the end of the year got that big win over the number 2 team in the country at their own field. What was the biggest thing that you took away from last season during that growth?
That we got to find a way to come together early this year, knowing that we only got 6 games. Because last year, I think we waited too long to pick up the pace and come together as a team and find a way to win games. So we just got to come out early and strong this year.
All right, what are some ways that you can do that this season?
Taking it day by day, practicing hard with everybody, sophomores, being leaders, and telling the freshmen, this ain't high school, so you got to come in ready and be ready for those college games. It's a different experience.
All right, so now that you're a sophomore, how are you embracing your role as a leader for these incoming freshmen? You had a lot of guys last year that helped you as a freshman, so how are you going to help them kind of adjust to this style of play?
Well, for one, to pick up the slack, any flaws or any mistakes they got going, any questions they have, all the sophomores can tell them what to be looking forward and going into the practices and games, so they'll be ready for it.
All right, my last question is, what are your expectations this season?
Playing every game with a chip on our shoulder. We only have 6 games this season, so we got to play every game like it's our last, go hard, and hopefully extend it to more than 6 games, make it to the playoffs, and do what we need to do.
All right, so it's been an interesting ride heading into your sophomore season. You didn't have spring practice. You went from playing in the spring back to playing in the fall. So what's that been like for you and maybe some of the other guys you've talked to on the team?
You don't know what's going to happen. So the best we could do is do what we could at home. A lot of the weight room's been closed for a bunch of guys. Luckily, I've been able to get in the weight room. But one thing that we could have done is run. So a lot of us come back in shape. So, right now we're playing the 6-game schedule, so that's all we can think about. That's all. We're just going to be ready for those 6 games. And if they change it, they change it. If not, we'll be ready.
All right, well, last season we saw you guys really grow as a team throughout the season from start to finish. And, of course, the year ended by beating the number 2 team in the country on their own field. So what was the biggest thing that you learned during that growth last season?
I just think speed of the game, for one. Coming out of high school, you got to learn the speed of the game. For 2, getting to know everybody that you're playing with. We had a young defensive line. We returned almost the whole defensive line. We had bust in the secondary early on. They got that fixed. So it was just a meshing point that we figured out how to play with each other, and that helped a lot.
All right, so how are you going to build on all the lessons you learned last year to apply towards your sophomore season this year?
Big thing, don't get mad at one mistake. It's going to happen. But pick the younger guys up, get them speed of the game, get them ready, and just feed off each other.
All right, you kind of segue me into my next question. Now that you're a sophomore, how are you embracing that role as a leader? And how are you going to be a leader for these incoming freshmen to kind of catch them up to this level of play?
Right. Well, same thing for me. Last year we had Keyshawn, Nick, Shump. All those linebackers taught me. They got me in quick, got caught up to the speed of the game. So that's all I can try to do for the linebackers, the freshmen coming in, and everybody else on the team. We have a really veteran defensive line, so that's going to help. They going to be good. They were really good at the end of last year. Good defensive line always helps linebackers and safeties. So just letting them know what I was taught last year and just trying to help them the best that I can.
And I know a lot of things in life are uncertain right now, but what are your expectations this season?
To win all 6 games. Can't play for a national championship. I don't know about a state championship, but I know we're going to have the team, we're going to have the talent to do what we want to do. We just have to get out fast like we didn't last year, started off slow. We just got to be ready week 1 and go from there.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow is what we anticipate, what we work for, what we want to improve. At Itawamba Community College, we offer the courses, pathways, and the training that can help turn your vision of tomorrow into a reality. So why wait? Your tomorrow can start today at Itawamba Community College. The best start here.
Larry Williams, head football coach, Hines Community College. Last year we finished 7-3. Went to had an opportunity to go to a bowl game out up there in Iowa. I think really was kind of like a mixture of older guys and younger guys. Man, really brought together. Them guys really played together as a family, as a team. That's one thing we preach here at Hines. It's all about being a family from top to bottom, from the administration all the way down to the janitor. So I think that right there kind of prepared us with those guys that if we was in some close ball games that we came out on top. You know, the first game of the season, you start out by beating the #1 team in the nation, and that really gave us the momentum. Guy kind of believe, but you know, last year was a great year. I think we played during preseason. I know we played 2 teams at one time during the season, but ranked #1 in the nation, and Coleman was ranked real high. Jones finished ranked real high in the nation. So we ended up playing some real good football teams and some guys that really went out there. But I think our guys really went out there and just overachieved. Just went out there and just played, and it was a great fun year for us. Well, one thing that I want, we got a sign, and that's our thing: trust the process when you get here. And it ain't no different than you, a high school kid coming up fresh out of high school. It's hard to make that transition from high school to college. But if you trust the process, and we got a blueprint of it and show you if you do what you're supposed to do, you will get a degree from here. And I can say, and 98% of our kids go on and get a scholarship when they leave here. Now, I'm not gonna say they Power 5s and all. We have guys go Power 5, but we have guys go 1AA. We have guys go D2. But the bottom line, we try to make sure that if you get a scholarship off, grades won't be the situation why you don't make it. And that's the thing that we go up and beyond with our kids, with our tutoring service, we put a lot of money into it here. And Miss Horn, Miss Oates, Miss Ball, those young ladies, they do a great job of really getting those kids prepared and making sure they in the right class. Not just they up on it. They know they gotta have a 2-5. They know they gotta have a core class. They know you can't leave with D's and all that. D's don't transfer. I think this year, we're gonna have like 6 guys in an NFL camp. John Hightower was a kid got drafted 5th round out of Boise that playing for the Philadelphia Eagles. Stephen Guidry, undrafted free agent with Kansas City Chiefs. DeMichael Harris with the Indianapolis Colts. And I think right now, Chris Black got a good shot of getting in with Green Bay. And we got a couple more guys that kind of wait on that. I think with the pandemic going on, that hurts a lot of guys from getting it invited to those camps and stuff. But getting a lot of feedback on a lot of guys and stuff. And we also had a guy that won a Super Bowl this past year. Kansas City Chiefs for Cedric Ward. So it's Javon Williams. We've been having a lot of guys that not only moved on to playing in the NFL, but we have a lot of those guys. My biggest thing is that I'm just proud of the majority of all our kids that left here. Man, I would say about 98% of those guys already graduated from the university that with their degree. And that's the number one. Our number one goal, we try to set them up here. When they leave here, they can be really almost like a semester, a year and a half before they can graduate with their 4-year degree. We monitor that. Those ladies really do monitor that throughout those guys' career when they're here. So that make them, when they leave here, they in a situation where they don't have to go back and retake English course or something because they got a D or something like that. And that's the thing that we get a lot of feedback from parents when guys leave. they called back and said, I didn't know he was this close to graduate. You know, yeah, he had most of everything when he left it. And you know, that's what we pride ourselves on here at Hines. And we're going to make sure, that we love to win on the field, but we love winning off the field to make sure that these kids are successful.
Don't wait for opportunity to knock. Change your future at Hines Community College. Get an affordable start to a 4-year degree or receive specialized training for a career that is in high demand. Hines offers 6 convenient locations, flexible schedules, and a variety of class times in a broad range of programs. You receive personalized attention from experienced faculty. There are even 5 degrees you can earn 100% online. What are you waiting for? Start your future today. Learn more about enrollment at hinescc.edu.
I'm Ethan Boyd. I'm from Utica, Mississippi. I went to Copiah Academy, number 66, right tackle. What brought me to Hines is family. Coach Williams, when he was recruiting me, he said, number one thing you're going to get here is family. We got each other's back. My goals as a student athlete is to graduate with my degree in criminal justice, and as an athlete, to be the best player on the field I can be, and afterwards from Hines, wherever God plans it. For this next season, wake up in the morning, work out, get my schoolwork done, work out again, eat dinner, repeat. Hines has provided me with the best teachers, the best coaching staff, and for the next level, hopefully I'll get the same treatment. Coming up from high school to prepare for college definitely is a game changer. You got to be able to compete with the best. You got to be able to beat the best. So what I had to do was dedicate myself not only to the classroom, but to the weight room. And the weight room is definitely what you need when you're off the field. And being in the weight room 24/7, it helped me prepare to compete against these guys, and definitely the weight room. And definitely running. The speed of the game is different. You got to be ready for it, and that's about it. Last year's season, one of the most things I needed to work on was conditioning and definitely becoming stronger. And to prepare for this upcoming season, speed and strength, and definitely knowing the game. For the guys coming into Hines, what I've learned here at Hines is be ready to work, be ready to compete, be ready to win.
All right, Coach, just talk about, the success, we had
last year, and then what your plans are in building it for this year?
Well, we did have some success last year. We won a few big games that we hadn't won, we had beat a few teams that we hadn't beat in the past year. So we're going to try and build upon that. Our expectations are that we can continue to go in the right direction.
So talk about your new role as head coach, and just speak on that, and what you plan to do as a head coach, and what your philosophy is.
Well, speaking on becoming the head coach, the new head coach, it's a great honor. The decision was made by Dr. Haffey and the committee to hire me as the new head football coach, and I really appreciate them having the confidence and faith in me to get the job done. As a head coach, my expectations are for excellence. I'm a winner. I like to be a winner, and the team that I coach are going to be winners. So it keeps it pretty simple. So.
Just talk about the lack of spring and Bulldog games where you build camaraderie, with those activities. And I don't know if that's something you're going to keep doing or not, but let's talk about the lack of spring and what that would have meant to the guys.
Well, spring helps you find out who you're going to have coming back. So it's a loss in that respect, but this is the way they used to do it back in the day. So I'm not really panicking about it. Football is football. You hope that you've done a good enough job recruiting that no matter how much time you have to prepare and get ready for the next season, you hope that you recruited the right guys that can pick up your scheme and learn what you're trying to do and put it into play.
What about the offense? We've done really well the last 4, 5, 6 years. You seeing any changes on that, or people can expect to see what we've been successful at?
We're going to continue to do what we've been successful with over the past few years. It's what's allowed us to even be competitive. So we may add a few wrinkles here or there, but traditionally we're going to continue to do what we've been doing.
Your returning guys, they were a big part of Holmes being ranked #1 in the country last year. Just talk about, those guys and what it means to have some guys coming in that are used to your offense and things that you like to do.
Well, we have a few guys coming back on both offense and defense, but we're going to be pretty young all the way around. We've only got a few guys on the offensive side of the ball with any major game time experience, but the beauty of the offense is once they've learned it, they're going to move quickly into being veterans. This offense affords you that opportunity. Defensively, we got some guys coming in. We got a couple transfers, but not many. We got some good young guys coming in, and a change of philosophy on the defense with Coach Gibson, and we're going to be attacking style on both sides of the ball.
What about the just what everything we're going through? I mean, how can you keep the guys pumped up and focused? Started out as same schedule, end of August, then got moved to September, then it got moved to October. And I mean, what have y'all been telling them to try to keep them motivated?
Well, we're just basically telling them we got to play when we have to play. There's nothing that you can do to control that, and those things that you can't control, you can't worry about. So whenever they tell us to kick it off and get ready to play, is what we're going to do. We're just preparing like we're going to play, and hopefully we will. But bottom line of it is we have no control over this situation, and if you want to play football, you're going to be ready when it's time to go.
What, the schedule, it's kind of the same subject, but the schedule's been cut to only division games when we're used to playing 3 non-division games. Everything counts, so that's a new mentality as well.
Well, I think it's if you're talking to your guys about the right things, every game counts. It's a little bit more emphasis because they're all divisional games, but when it's all said and done, you should always tell them that every game counts. You can't afford to lose any of them, and that's the goal that we're striving for. So I'm not taking a different approach in that. I'm going to talk as if the first game is the only game that we're worried about right now, and then we'll move on after that. But as far as that goes, every game has always counted, and you want to win them all.
last year we had some big wins, and like you said, you expect to win every game, but we had big wins over Northwest and East, and then we lost that Delta game, and it kind of hurt real bad. So you think the sophomores will be hungry and they'll remember what that felt like?
Well, I think anytime you are on the right path and you're doing well enough to put yourself in the driver's seat of the conference, then when you don't make it and you don't get in and you have a letdown, it ought to refocus you as to what you're doing and how your approach is. So I think that will be used as a motivational tool for the rest of the year, because you want to finish. You want to finish the game. You want to finish the season. You want to finish with a win. And last year we weren't able to do that. And hopefully that will be a motivating factor in what we do this year.
Talk about your new coaches and your transition guys who moved to coordinator. You mentioned Coach Gibson. Just mention the rest and what their responsibilities are.
Well, we have Coach Summers, who's the offensive coordinator and O-line coach, and I suspect that he will do. I know that he will do a great job for us there. Coach Edwards is the associate head coach, and he's defensive line, so he has a wealth of knowledge in that position, and he has a local aspect to him where he was coming in from Home Central, and he has a wealth of connections in the league and in the high school ball in the state. Coach Swears is coming in as a linebackers coach. He's worked with a friend of mine up at another level, Kawaki Thomas, who's defensive coordinator, I think, at Panhandle State. But he's coming in and he's going to coach our linebackers. And Coach Taylor will be our A-backs and running backs coach, and he will do a great job for us. He's coming from more of a passing style of offense that will bring a few more things and dimensions to our passing game, and will be real focused on getting our A-backs to perform.
Let's talk a little bit about, another aspect that you're going to have to deal with. We talked about that a little bit this morning when Colin came over without the mask, stuff like that. How important is it for the sophomore leaders and y'all just to do our part to make sure that we can get these games in?
Well, everything's important. I mean, you have to follow the protocols, and you have to be super conscious of what's going on and what's required of you. If we don't all follow the rules, then we won't be playing. So nobody wants that. But you want to make sure that all the young men are safe. My first priority is keeping these young men safe and doing what I have to do as a head coach in a leadership role to make sure that they continue on the path of being safe. Not going to allow anything to jeopardize that for my student athletes or my coaching staff.
So what can people expect out of you a little bit? Talk a little bit more about you, since this is your first head coach job here. What kind of person are you, or what can they expect out of you?
Well, as far as the kind of person I am, I'm hard but I'm fair, and I tell the guys that I demand and I expect excellence on the football field and off the football field. I'm a laid-back guy, but I do it in a manner that these young men can relate to, but I'm also a disciplinarian. It's not about the flash, it's about the results. And I've always told my guys on offense that it's not the play call, it's the execution of the play. And that's my philosophy as a coach. It's not the defense that's called, it's the execution of the defense. So when it's all said and done, we have to prepare these young men to go into battle the right way, the way that is going to be conducive to them winning and getting the maximum effort, and the way that it has to be in order to be productive and get the win.
opening quarter. Beatty pulls out of the belly of Bryant, pitches it to Kelly. Kelly gets to the outside, 20, at the 15, at the 10, and inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line. A gain of 21 yards. First and goal, Holmes trying to maybe tie this game up or cut it to 1. First down and goal from the Coahoma 9-yard line. Handoff, banks in, big hole, breaks free, touchdown Holmes. There it is. That was one everybody could see. Going in motion, Woodard, play action, looking to throw, and the pass wide open on a wheel route. Touchdown is Martavius Dill, and more than a wheel route, just a release from the A-back, wide open. Beatty gonna follow his B-back, break an ankle tackle, and slip into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown Holmes. Beatty takes a snap, gives to Bryant. Bryant, big hole, he'll waltz in untouched for a Bulldog touchdown. Hurd this time gives to Bankston with a big hole, breaks a tackle, he's into the open. At the 20, 15, 10, cuts back at the 5, touchdown Holmes. There we go, 6 more on the board, and Holmes is pouring it on. They've opened up a 41-16 lead with 12:35 to go. On first down and goal from the 1. It's Hurd on a quarterback follow. He'll walk in untouched. He had a couple of blockers in front of him. Touchdown Holmes.
Colin, just tell us about last year. I know some of the guys probably were pumped up after those big wins over Northwest and East, but then we missed the playoffs. We didn't take care of business, later in the season against Itawamba and Delta. Just tell us a little, kind of reflect on last year just a little bit.
Well, during the season, we all played hard. We gave it all we got. And the wins over East Miss and Northwest, those are pretty big for us because most people assume we would lose because, they East Mississippi and Northwest. But we proved many people wrong. But yeah, we was upset. If we would have won against Mississippi Delta, we would have been in the playoffs for sure.
So what will it take this year to replicate those wins and get the wins needed for the playoffs?
In order for us to replicate what we did last year, we just gonna have to work hard. We just gotta find a way, stop making excuses and put in the work and just know what we're doing on and off the field.
Talk about Coach Gibson taking over as defensive coordinator. He says he plans to keep things consistent to what they were last year, but what are you expecting out of Coach Gibson and new staff?
I'm looking forward to having Coach Gibson as a defensive coordinator. He's a smart man. He knows the defense, and he's gonna try to keep the defense the same. We're gonna run a couple new plays, and I'm pretty excited and looking forward to it. I'm gonna be expecting we're gonna be a more dominant defense, more attacking, more aggressive, and we're gonna shut offenses out and force turnovers.
Talk a little bit about that defense a little more. Yano didn't mind stepping y'all up in the hole and bringing pressure off all directions. You feel like that'll be the same deal this year?
Yeah, we would kind of keep the same philosophy Coach Yano had, but we'll be a little more sound. We're just going to clean up a few techniques and problems to make the defense run a little bit smoother and not be as confusing as it kind of was.
All right, talk about Coach Gross. You got a new head man. What do you expect from him? What could be the same? What could be different? What about Coach Gross?
I'm looking forward to have him as a head coach too. Coach Gross, he's a smart offensive man. He ran the offense we run in his college days, and he ran it pretty good. So he knows the offense like the back of his hand. So I'm looking forward to it, and he gonna run a good team, and just looking forward to it.
All right, let's talk about you. When you came in, we talked about how much bigger you got. Yeah. Even though, we didn't have spring, we didn't have Bulldog games. Talk about the fact we didn't have those things. And that was something, the coaches always look forward to, those Bulldog games to build camaraderie and everything. But, what are some of your feelings about missing spring? We know it can't be helped just cause the situation, but give me some feelings on that. And then I'll ask you about what you've been doing. Talk about the lack of spring and kind of where that hurts you.
Yo, I was pretty upset we didn't finish the Bulldog games and have spring football because I was looking forward to spring ball to show the coaches what I can do because I had to progress through the season because I didn't get that much playing time. So I put in a lot of work during the off season just to showcase during spring. But stuff came up. We didn't have spring ball. We didn't have the Bulldog games. So I just tried to keep my head straight and just try to work out and do what I can do every day just to stay prepared and ready.
So last year, what did you come in weighing last year?
Last year I came in weighing around 217, about 215, 217, somewhere around there. And now I weigh about 230. So I put on a good bit of muscle and just worked hard all off season.
So give me a rundown of kind of what your summer and spring workouts.
So after spring break, I really just did a little workout in the morning, like push-ups, squats, mostly body weight. And then in the afternoon, I lifted weights, but it was hard to lift weights because, you know, gyms was closed at the time. But I had a little home gym set up with dumbbells and tires and stuff. But when the gyms opened up, I started going to the gyms, lifted weight, just high volume, low reps, and high reps, low volume, just kind of mixed it around. I also did agility, ran around, just do everything, just stay in shape and be prepared.
So what, this is your sophomore year. I mean, what was it going to take for the Bulldogs to be successful and also for you to be successful?
For us to be successful, we just got to find a way. We can't make excuses. We got to do what's right on and off the field. We got to be determined and motivate. We got to help each other out. And for me, I just got to know what I'm doing, know the defense, and motivate people to keep going and not give up.
All right. You know, I didn't want to talk much about the pandemic, but it is something that it may affect us, you know, during the season, the way things it is. How important is it for you as a sophomore, as a leader, to make sure the guys are social distancing and, you know, wearing the mask when y'all not on the field and, you know, things like that? How important do you feel like that's your job?
Yeah, I feel like it's all our job, all the sophomores' job and everybody's job really to make sure we have the mask on and stay 6 feet apart, because as long as we wear our mask and everybody stay healthy, we'll have a season and we'll have a pretty good season. We just need to do what's right as of now until everything starts to die down and this corona starts to go away.
All right, and what's it going to take for you to get to the 4-year level?
What it's going to take for me, I just got to know what I'm doing, be a little more aggressive, know the offense, watch a lot of film, and just go out there and have fun and ball out.
It's going to be huge for the kids because, one, they've never had anything like this, and anybody that runs an organization understands that having everything in one place makes it so much nicer. When you say we're having a meeting, they're not wondering where. They know where it's going to be, and it's brand new, so they're going to love it. Well, I think it makes us more organized logistically. You're not walking all over campus trying to find places to meet. Obviously, we haven't had our players in here yet, so that's really going to be beneficial. But even as coaches, we now have an office, we have a place to meet, so it really helps logistically with the organization. Well, we've heard positive comments from those that have seen it prior to us being moved off campus, and then even coaches that I've talked to that have seen it on the film. So I think everything's been very positive, but like you said, we really haven't seen the real benefits yet because we haven't been allowed in it. Well, they count right away. You know, usually you have 1 or 2 non-division games. You want to win them, but you know if you lose them, it doesn't affect your chance to win your conference side. So, you know, it's going to be counting right away, and I think a great challenge is going to be all the backups have to be ready to play, because we never know who could come down with, you know, the virus, and all of a sudden you have 4 starters out. Now you have to have multiple guys ready, even in the coaching staff. You know, we've already started to talk about if one of our coaches has to be sidelined for a game or two. You know, if I happen to have to be sidelined, someone else has got to fill the role of the head coach, and, you know, could be coordinator. So there's a lot of thinking and preparing that has to happen. I'm excited. I mean, of all years for this to happen, going into this season, I really felt really good about our football team. So that hasn't changed. Obviously, there's going to be some obstacles to work through and challenges, but I think we've got a really good nucleus coming back. We've lost a couple kids to 4-year schools this summer. We lost John Cartwright and Josh Ratcliffe, which we're excited for them. That's why they come here, to move on. So even though we're going to miss them, we're happy for their opportunities at Southern Miss and Memphis. But I feel good about the season. We're going to have to buy in like never before, and that's a lot of buy-in off the field. The young men are going to have to grow up and really ask themselves some questions like, how important is it for us to win as a team? How is it important is this season to me? You know, on a Thursday or Friday night, if I get the chance and I go home, what choices am I going to make that could affect my teammates, that we have 4 or 5 guys have to miss a game? What do I have to take in consideration of my family? You know, am I better off staying here the whole time, or am I better off running back and forth? Those are mature decisions that, you know, many of these kids have never thought through. So we've got to help them think those things through, and then, you know, hopefully we'll have enough guys to go out there and play. Well, I think everyone knows J.D. Martin. I mean, he's probably the top back in the country, and he's got multiple offers around the country, and he's coming back. We've got our quarterbacks coming back, both Holman and Deontay. We've got, you know, 3 of our offensive linemen coming back from last year. We have, you know, a couple of receivers that we feel pretty good about. On defense, we have a nice nucleus of guys coming back, both on linebacker position and the D-line. Like I said, we've lost 2, but we feel like we filled those voids with some nice players. We have the best punter in the country by far, place kicker. So we have some key positions where we're really strong, and hopefully we can get them to lead as well. I mean, I think that, you know, anytime you have a punter like Robins, and I think he'll improve as a kicker. He did okay, but I think he even has more ahead of him there. You know, he's a threat in the game at any time to help with field position. And then I think we've recruited enough skilled players that'll, you know, be able to be exciting on those special teams. Yeah, the coaches always rotate here at the community college level, so that's a challenge. But we've hired a new defensive line coach in Blaine Miller. I've known Blaine for many years through my youngest son. Blaine's been at Georgia, has been at Colorado, UAB, and so we're excited that he can be an addition to our defense. We also added a new safeties coach in Deontay Evans. Deontay has a background at Mississippi State and knew some of the coaches on our staff. We're excited about his addition. And then we added a running backs coach in Khalil Pope, a young guy out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, that we're excited to have on the staff as well. So we have 3 new coaches, and you know, we're excited when we lose coaches, because that means they're moving on to hopefully full-time jobs where they can make a salary as well as you know, get an opportunity to get the foot in the door. Yeah, Dennis is going on 7 and Mickey's going on 8 years. So, you know, Mickey and I have been together a long time, so we know each other. And Dennis has been here, like I said, for 7 years. So both of those know what I want, and I think they help bring along the younger. Well, now that I've been here 8 years, I feel I can say, you know, I have an idea of what it's like. I've never coached in Kansas. I haven't coached in California. But I'd have a hard time believing that it's better than what's in Mississippi. I think we've got a great league. It's very competitive. I think it's great for the young men of the state of Mississippi, and then you get a few out-of-staters on your team. But everyone in the country recruits the state of Mississippi football, so that tells you that it's good football. I'm encouraged. We have a new commissioner. I think Commissioner Martin has done a very good job in his, I guess, about a year now that he's been here, and it's been an awkward year for him. So I'm excited about him being in charge of our league. I think our presidents are excited about the league. So I think our league's going to continue to grow to its fullest potential, and I'm looking forward to that. Well, I think we're educators. Parents are educators, teachers are educators, coaches are educators. So I always feel like, personally, if I'm staying at the same place year after year after year, there's something wrong with that. we all grow in many ways, not just physically. We grow emotionally, we grow mentally. So to me, winning here at East Central is not just the scoreboard. That's an important piece. We want to do that. But it's helping these young men grow to where their life can affect others. They can, hopefully be a great husband and a great father. And I think our mission, which, I said we've had it for 8 years here and everywhere I've ever coached as a head coach, is going to be tested more than ever this year because there are so many things that our young people are being confronted with, and us as older people, that we really get to put it into practice. Oh, it's the forefront of everything we do. It's the first thing I communicate to any parent or athlete in recruiting, because again, I want to make sure we get the right fit, both players and coaches. The worst thing I can do as a head coach is not be thorough in telling the players, the parents, the coaches I hire who we really are. That's unfair to them. If they come in here and have questions, I've not done my job. But the mission and the vision of the program allows them to know that, this is how this program is going to be run. It's never going to change. It's the same for everybody. So what it should do is should give you some stability if it's what you want to be a part of. If it's not what you want to be a part of, it would be miserable to be here, because as I tell them, I'm old enough now, I'm not going to change. But I think that it brings great stability. Obviously, everyone's different levels. I think some probably buy in earlier than others. Others might even say, what's it mean? But when you know that it's working is when players call back years later, like 20 years later, 15 years later, or you might see that they're implementing it into their practice wherever they are job-wise. It's not my mission. It's the mission of Christ is whose it is. So, it works for everybody if you want to do it. And, all I can do is tell them, and hopefully they'll use it. I would say we're not ready, but that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't concern me. I've had an advantage in my life, I think, by working in NFL Europe. I know there's other fellow head coaches in this league that are concerned about numbers and, how long we'll have to practice. And as I've said to them, I've worked at NFL Europe where we had a 35-man roster. We went 2 weeks ahead of time before we went over to Europe, and then we played. And this was with pro kids, but still it was the same type of quick turnaround. So are we ready? No. I'm sure we'll have many that are really out of shape, but we'll be ready by October 1 if we get that opportunity. Well, I think that, again, we should be pretty experienced, so I expect our offense to have a lot of maturity and play with great confidence. I think we'll be able to give people lots of problems with the type of skill level we have. So, I'd be shocked if our offense doesn't have confidence going into the season. Yeah, well, I think Holman will take a big step. I thought had an okay year as a freshman, which is typical for a freshman quarterback, but I expect him to make a big jump. Again, JD, I think, can be dynamic. It's a matter of him staying healthy, but I don't see him getting worse. I obviously see him getting better. And then, we need a couple of the skill receivers to have a good year. Offensive line, we got some good guys there, but I think we'll have a good offense. I'm really encouraged. Well, again, that's always the case, and we're always going to be playing uphill. I've said that from day one, both to our team, to our coaches. I say it to our administration. I say it to the coaches we play against. But I know this: there's not a team in the league that wants to play us. And, it doesn't bother me that we play uphill. We've knocked on the door the last 2 years. We ended up 4-5, but I think the teams know that we were very close to being much better than that. So we'll be in every game. We'll be prepared. We'll play hard. And if that's what we do and we end up on the losing side, you can't ask the kids for anything more. Again, that's where our mission is much bigger than just that scoreboard. But I feel very good about this year.
looking forward to get to work, see all the coaches face to face, not over the Zoom meeting. See all the guys in the dorm, and then get to work on the football. I chose East Central because of the relationship I felt I had already had with Coach Karcher and some of the coaches here, and just the culture that he's built here. Warrior Hall's it's an amazing building. It's really exciting to have this as our new facility. Yeah, I think the idea of having everything in the same place and the meeting rooms are awesome. It's going to make everything more organized and specific to what we do. I think in the future it kind of puts East Central at an even playing field with the rest of the JUCOs as far as recruiting goes with facilities, because nice facilities attract players, and then the guys that are already here, it's just going to give us motivation to do better during the season. I think Coach Karcher is a lot similar to my high school coach in that his views of it's not all about just getting the win. It's more of a person development, and also a former player that came here, went to my high school, and all he had was good things to say about Coach Karcher. His idea of developing the whole person makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because football is just a tool that he uses and his coaches use to prepare us as young men and turn us into men to send out into the real world. Being on time, being organized, cleaning things up, holding each other accountable, that kind of thing is just going to prepare us for what's ahead of our lives other than football. Yeah, I try to stay outside a lot in the heat, and I get used to being in the air conditioning because the football field's not air conditioned, unfortunately. I do have access to a field, so I get to go down there and throw some with some of my high school friends, or if somebody will come over from college, and I'm able to run. I've got a weight room set up in the backyard, which has been helpful. The Zoom meetings in the mornings, we have a team meeting or offense and defensive meeting in the mornings, and that's been helpful just to see people's faces and hear their voices when we're talking about football, which is what we're here for. And then we have group message with the team or something like that. Everybody talks about what they've been doing, which is good to keep up with the guys. Well, last year I feel like it was a good season just to kind of get my feet wet for college ball. Coming from 1A high school was a lot different. I feel like I've become trying to become more of a student of the game from learning from Coach Karcher that there's more to football than just the pound and ground. There are a lot of mental aspects of the game, and over the break trying to address what I did wrong last season and what as a team and as an offense we need to work on to be successful this upcoming season. I think we're going to have a great team coming back offensively, defensively, special teams. I'm really excited to get back and get to work. I think we're going to have a great team. The best way that I do it personally is, I'll get alone and either just turn on a film tape of last season's game with a notebook and just watch that. And as Coach Karcher says, watch and feel. So I'll watch and feel how I played, notice the mistakes I made, what I did good, that kind of thing. That's how I stay prepared mentally. Yeah, definitely. JUCO of Mississippi is the SEC of JUCO of the nation, which excites me because I get to play against the best, and I think it excites our team, especially coming up this season, that we're going to get to compete against the best and measure up against them. I think it will have a big effect, especially the first game, if that is the case, that we don't have any fans, because that's what you run out on the field and there's people screaming and yelling, the band's playing, and nobody knows what that would be like, a game without fans. So I really don't know what to expect because that's never happened. So I don't know. Let's see. They missed one game last season because my sister was in a homecoming for our high school. And as soon as the homecoming was over, they ran home, turned on the live stream, which is great that we do that. They had a bunch of people over at the house. So It'll definitely affect them. My mom's a big football person. My dad loves to watch it too. Mom's more of the enthusiast over it. She gets pumped up just about as much as I do about a game. It'll have an effect not getting to see them and them not getting to see me play, I'm sure.
A student has a lot of flexibility by attending Mississippi Delta Community College with locations in Moorhead, Indianola, Greenwood, and Greenville. The students can arrange their classes in the format of a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. In other words, every Friday is a holiday. Research supports students who start off at Mississippi Delta do just as good or better than students who start off at four-year school. We provide a strong support system to support our students in pursuit of their educational endeavors.
Mangle back to pass. Pass is thrown and it is intercepted. That looks like Symmetra Stewart on the pick, and he is going to take it all the way to the house for the touchdown.
He's taken by Symmetra Stewart at the 30, moves to his left, down the left sideline, cuts back to his right, back to his left, and he runs it in for the touchdown.
All right, Coach, I know coaches by nature like to script training camp and practices well in advance due to the logistics of handling roughly 75 people. With COVID-19, that's certainly caused you to change that. How have you and your staff handled all of that up to this point?
Well, we've had a bunch of contingency plans, and every day we've taken it as if we were fixing to start that at that moment. I know things have been pushed back and those type of things, but we've kind of gone on as business as usual. We started back in June planning to come in the 1st of August, and then now we've got pushed back. And so now we're getting prepared. Our guys coming here in the middle of August to get started and play that first game on October 1st.
Okay. With the season fast approaching, who are some returners on the offensive side of the ball that excite you, and also who are some returners that could be breakout candidates?
We're real for anytime you got your trigger man come back, Jordan Gillian, be playing quarterback for us. Did a great job for us last year. Got a lot of valuable experience. Started the first 2 games for us and started the last 2 games for us and got valuable experience, and was doing a great job with his leadership when school got canceled back in March, and did a great job with his leadership with the all-season lifting.
Any of the receivers that are coming back?
Well, the first guy that would come to mind would be Travion Miles, who is our leading receiver coming back. Had a great year for us last year. Was probably our second go-to guy last year, and he did a really good job growing up. Started the very first game for us last year. Started all 9 games, and actually took a sophomore guy who had started for us the year before. Another receiver that we're going to count on a bunch is Lorenzo Perez, who's from Clarksdale. Had a really good year for us last year. We moved him around a bunch, and I know he'll be happy this coming season that he will be playing one position, and the receiver position that he played last year, and feel comfortable. And the guy's probably going to have the most pressure on him is we only have one offensive lineman coming back, and that's Jimmy Brown from Shaw, Mississippi. Jimmy had a real good year for us, stepped in. We had 4 sophomores coming back last year. Jimmy stepped in as a freshman and played like a seasoned player all season.
All right, let's flip to the defensive side of the ball. Who are some returners maybe that had outstanding freshman seasons that we're looking to build on that, and again, maybe some breakout candidates on that side of the ball?
Well, the first guy that we would probably come to mind would be KT Owens. He started about the 3rd or 4th game last year. We're real pleased that we were signed him. Gained a bunch of weight in all season last year when we first got into camp, and ended up moving from defensive end to defensive tackle. He's probably the most highly recruited guy on our football team. Second guy that comes to mind is our other defensive end, which is Keyshawn Blackman from Terry, Mississippi. Keyshawn really had a great year for us last year. Came off the edge, led our team in sacks, and he has definitely had a great year for us in the all season. And I know we would have had a great spring practice if we'd have had that opportunity. One of the local guys that's from around here from Greenville, Cameron McCullum, who's a defensive back, who is probably going to be the highest recruited guy because he's a big corner, 6'2", about 200 pounds from here in Greenville, Mississippi. And he should step in, pick up exactly where he left off a year ago, and do a good job for us playing in the secondary, and also a great leader.
All right, let's talk about your coaching staff. Michael Turner returns for his third season as a defensive coordinator, while you're welcoming in Tobias Smith as the offensive line coach. Tobias had a very storied playing career at Mississippi State. We'll also be naming a new defensive backs coach here pretty soon, which we can't quite announce, but we will be announcing that soon. Seems like a very solid core of younger coaches that have an excellent playing and coaching pedigree up to this point. What are your thoughts on your staff?
I tell you, one of the things that I'm really proud of my staff, which is an advantage and a disadvantage. We have a real young coaching staff. Besides myself, every coach that I have on the staff is 30 years or younger, which it sometimes can be a disadvantage for lack of experience. But what they lack in experience, they do a really good job with enthusiasm and relating to the kids. We've got a lot of different ideas. They've come from different backgrounds. Like you said, Tobias played at Mississippi State, had a great career, so we get some of that. Mike played at Delta State, get some of those ideas. So we've got a lot of different ideas from different places, and also all our graduate assistants are brand new. Zach Sice, who played defensive line at Mississippi Valley, and then also Roger Totten, who played quarterback at Mississippi Valley. So we're real pleased that we've got different coaches that played on different levels and also at different places, and that will bring a lot of new ideas to Mississippi Delta Community College.
Okay. Finally, as we're wrapping up here, I know the team technically will not report for another few weeks, but what can our fans expect from the 2020 edition of MDCC football?
Well, I tell you, we feel like we got Mississippi Delta heading in the right direction and got a chance to get in the playoffs. Our kids were doing a tremendous job as far as working hard with leadership, dedication, and that kind of stuff when they went home for spring break. And one of the things that kind of typified our team that we're really, really excited about is the fact that the Thursday right before spring break, usually that's the Thursday that we give our guys off, reward them for such hard work in the off season. And our sophomores came to me and said, "Coach, we want to work out that Thursday before we go home for spring break." And that really makes you feel happy as a coach, confident as a coach, because those guys are dedicated and really want to have an opportunity to play and have an opportunity to get into the playoffs as the team that wins the North Division. And with our schedule, one of the things, and you always want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Across the middle of the field, pass is caught by LeBaron Jones, and he is turning it upfield, and he is headed to the end zone untouched.
All right, so the 2020 spring semester threw us all for a loop with COVID, and it's forced all of you to change how you approach your classwork, your workouts, and so forth. How have you handled the time away from school and your teammates and coaches?
Well, in the beginning, it was kind of hard just being away from the game and being away from my coaches and my teammates, but at some point I realized that my self-discipline had to kick in, and I had to be consistent with perfecting my craft, so I just stayed on top of that so I could be the best athlete for my coaches and my teammates when I returned.
All right. Speaking of that, what have you missed the most about being away from football as a team and about and being around everyone affiliated with the football program?
The thing I miss the most is the atmosphere, just being around the guys that you build a bond with, the ones you call your brothers, the ones that you go to war with every week. So I just miss being around those guys and my coaches and just the family bond.
All right. As far as the offensive side of the ball, who are some returners, yourself included, that are looking forward to seeing the impact that they make in 2020?
We got a lot of key weapons on offense. Two guys that I can name would be Lorenzo Perez and Terrell Coleman. Those guys, they're pretty explosive and they're good players. So I could just reflect on us back in the spring. They were real disciplined players. They came to work every day and they just brought the right attitude towards the players and the coach. So I feel like they should have pretty good years.
All right, I know you're a very hungry, motivated student athlete and somebody that has high aspirations for themselves. What's a major goal or goals that you have for yourself and for this team heading into this season?
A goal that I have for myself would be to bring a state championship to Mississippi Delta and also to play next level Division I football. But I try to place that on the back end and just focus on our goal as a team, which is to win week by week and to execute. And I feel like if we handle that part, our personal goals is to take care of themselves.
And finally, I know we're still about 2 months away from opening kick, but what can our fans and the followers of our program expect from this team in 2020?
Our fans can expect us to just play good quality football. I mean, for all the gratitude that they show us, we're going to come out every week, we're going to give it our all, and we're going to put on the show.
9 in motion. Switches to his left. It is completely wide open on the left side, and that's a touchdown.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start off with just give me an intro, your name, where you're from, and what position you play here at Colin.
All right. I'm Hayden Hill. I play linebacker here at Colin. I'm from Flowell, Mississippi. Went to Northwest Rankin.
Good deal. So how's the summer going so far? Are you taking any online classes as opposed to in the past when you would be here in June? What are you up to now, school-wise?
Yeah. I actually just finished all my classes during the summer, so I got those out of the way. I'm just preparing to go back and take my actual fall classes. So right now I'm just doing my own thing.
Did you do those classes online?
They were online.
All right. How have the coaches been staying in touch with you, all the way dating back to March to now so far?
Yeah, they've been texting us and everything, but we've been having our little linebacker and safety meeting every Tuesday and Thursday. So we're keeping up with the football part, and they're keeping up with they're telling us when we need to go back, and they're letting us know whatever they hear. So they'll text us whenever they hear something new, or they'll just get on the Zoom meeting and tell us everything. So
how have you been staying motivated? Definitely when it comes to staying in play in shape, when you don't have that structure of weights at this time, practice at this time. How do you do it by yourself?
I've always been pretty good at that, but the mission really comes from not having an offer yet. So this year is the year that I need to have my breakout season, So this is going to be the really biggest year for me right now. So that's my motivation for me.
So right now we're set for a 6-game regular season. All of those games will be division games. Normally we have the 2 games, or the 2 early games in the season are normally North Division.
Right.
How does that change you mentally as a player going into a season that's kind of crammed in there all at once?
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, this is my biggest year, I feel like, for me. So it's gonna be tough, but I mean, I think we're up for the challenge. But I mean, it's really important. I mean, they cut some games, so I don't have as many games to show out, So that's gonna be probably the toughest part, I think. But
absolutely. You still there?
Yeah.
You paused on my screen. Sorry. All right.
Yeah, you're frozen on the screen. I can hear you though.
Okay, good deal. As long as we can still, it's just telling me now my internet is not very stable, but we'll keep going. So when you were a freshman, you had basically 3 months once you came in June to get to know the guys, get to know the sophomores, kind of get to find out what the mentality of the team is going to be. So how do you do that this year going in? That you're going to be the sophomore, you're going to be one of the leaders. How do you build that rapport with the freshmen? How do you kind of set the tone so quickly?
Right. I think it was built from the sophomores last year. I think they kind of gave us that mentality, and so they led as an example for us. I mean, we know what to do. I mean, what they didn't do and what they did do. I mean, we can see that, and so we can take that from last year, and then we can give it back to those freshmen who are coming in, So
is it going to be challenging to not have that time in the dorm? That off practice stuff that you get to do where you really get to know the guys. That's kind of been missing this year. So how do you streamline that as quickly as you can, do you think?
I mean, I know everybody who's coming in is really serious about football, and so I feel like we can get to know them pretty well. because it is their whole life. They're coming to college for football, so I think that they're going to be pretty easy to connect with, So that's pretty much everybody's goal, is to get to the next level from here, and so we have that in common. So I can get pretty close to them,
What do you think your overall expectations are for Colin this year, and what do you think needs to happen for us as a team to be successful in this league?
To be successful, I think we need to win all 6 games. I mean, that's everybody's goal. That's the big thing. We don't have as many games to prove that ourselves. Like last year, we kind of had it was kind of downhill a little bit. We had a lot of injuries and everything. So this year, I think we'll be pretty healthy. And I know our sophomore class this year, I was more connected. That was my class, and so I was pretty connected. And I know everybody by name, and I know everybody outside of football, so I can show everybody that we're more connected as a team, and so that is going to be tough for the freshmen, but I feel like we can connect with them. So the toughest part about that is we just got to do it really early. So
right. And you mentioned this kind of earlier, but we can expand on it a little bit. What are your personal goals going into this season? I know you had a couple of really big breakout games last year. Got a lot of attention on yourself. What are your goals for yourself?
Hopefully I can have a breakout game every game. I don't have a specific college, but I'm hoping to get a scholarship somewhere where I can go and play the next level. So that's been my goal since I started playing football in 4th grade. So that's just been my mindset the whole time. So.
Well, good.
At Copiah Lincoln Community College, we're ready to help you achieve your dreams on any of our 3 campuses. Choose from our top-rated online, academic, pre-professional, or career technical programs at a place you'll love to call home. Now more than ever, it's important to make wise financial decisions, and our tuition is one of the lowest in the state, with scholarships starting at an ACT score of 19. When you choose Colin, you open up a world of opportunities. Visit us online at www.colin.edu.
Coach, clearly this summer has been challenging and different. How have you and the coaching staff stayed in contact with our guys, and what have the players been up to during the summer, during this off time, I guess, to stay in shape and stay ready for the season?
Well, we hadn't seen them since March the 5th, and that's kind of been a pretty tough thing for us and them. I think the big thing is the schools allowed us to stay in contact with them through Zoom meetings, and we've done FaceTime meetings, with about classes and staying up on their work, and I mean, it's been one of those summers I hope we don't have again.
Absolutely. Last season was the first season here on Stone Stadium with the turf field. What new upgrades do we have coming? And with these new upgrades, how will that affect our atmosphere here for our fans and our community? And then what does that do for the recruiting game for the college?
Well, I mean, hopefully, we're going to have fans at games and that stuff. And I think, with the new scoreboard and Jumbotron that Dr. Uline is, going to help us with, I think it's going to be big. I think in recruiting, it's something that we can use as a recruiting tool. I mean, it's something that, our entire student body will be able to enjoy something with it. And I mean, they can show movies, they can do a lot of things with it. It's going to be really nice from that standpoint, and give our kids something to do during the week, and have everybody involved on campus. And, the tennis courts on campus, the new tennis courts new tennis complex that we've got is going to be a tremendous asset too. And I just can't thank her enough for her vision of seeing things like that, of what it's going to make Colin better.
Recruiting wise, specifically for football, what does that bring to the table?
I mean, there's so many things that we can do with the scoreboard for recruiting. Today's society is all about the bells and whistles, and it's definitely going to be one of the nicest bells and whistles that's going to be out there. And I mean, I think we can kids can see themselves in different light. It's going to be one of those things, the kid's running down the sideline and fisting a score, and he can see himself on the Jumbotron. I mean, it's just stuff like that catches kids' eyes today.
As a coaching staff leading into this season, how do you prepare for, normally we have our guys here in June practicing. As a coaching staff, how do you prepare for such an interesting season?
Well, it's kind of like the old days when we coached when I was a younger coach. That we didn't have summer school. We didn't have the workouts in the summer, and we had to rely on the kids doing things like that. And I know we've got some good kids that are doing everything they can to make sure that they're ready. Then you got some that probably not working quite as hard as they need to, and I think that's going to be everywhere in America, that you're going to have those kind of kids. And I think from that standpoint, it's going to be it's going to kind of be really fast, and your kids are going to have to hit the ground running and learning. And we've got to figure out how we're about getting them in shape. They're going to hit a wall at some point during practice, and we've got to give them some days off and that kind of stuff, and in our planning. And it's going to be different for sure.
All right, going into a shortened season, we're looking at a potential 6-game season. How do you keep our players motivated with it being kind of all at once and then done?
Well, I think the thing that I think you'll see out of them is that they want to play football, and having been away from it for a while, I think that hunger is going to help a lot. And for the sophomores, I think it's an opportunity. Every chance they get to play a game is video for them to sell themselves to college coaches, and I think that's mighty big for those kids.
Obviously, there's a lot of mystery kind of going into the season. Like you said, you've experienced that before in the past, kind of the old school way of things. But what are your overall expectations for Colin going into 2020?
Well, we always try to expect to be competitive, and I think usually you have your North Division games early in your season, so you have a chance to kind of get all the kinks out before you hit your division play. And so now you don't have the luxury of that, but I think that we'll expect to be competitive, and I think we have a good setup for our schedule. We just got to play well, and missing spring ball doesn't help, but I think we're not going to make any excuses about it. We're just going to, everybody's in the same boat, and we're going to play as hard as we can play.
Awesome.
It's something that is totally unprecedented. It's something that's outrageous compared to our normal day of life. And so everything we're trying to do is adjust on a daily basis, whether it's daily schedules or weightlifting schedules or practice schedules, whatever we're doing. So this has changed everything that we're doing and what we're accustomed to. So it's going to be something that we're going to have to get around and get used to. Right now, I think the athletic directors and the presidents have done an excellent job with what we're doing. But as for everybody to know, we're going to have to do our part as players and as coaches to do the best we can to monitor these things and to manage everything on a daily basis. But the other part of that is the families have to do that. Mom and dads, uncles, grandfathers, everybody else. We're going to have to all be in this thing together so we can have a football season. And that's going to be the biggest thing for all of us, to be a part of everything that we do on a daily basis to ensure the fact that our safety is first, but in fact we do have a football season.
Absolutely. I want to ask one more question about the pandemic, then we'll talk a little more about the schedule. I want to say, Coach, that because of all this, the uncertainty, that I hope and pray, and I'm certainly your coaching staff is hoping so too, that I think the student athletes may be even hungrier this year to get out and perform than they normally would be as well.
Well, it's definitely been a challenging deal for all of us. Typically we go through 7-8 months of an off-season program leading into fall camp, and this year's different. We're not going to have summer school with our players. It's kind of an interesting thing because you're not necessarily worried about the product on the field. You're worried about the conditioning level of your athletes. And so typically this is the time of year where you build team camaraderie, unity, as well as being able to come out here and get them in condition. And that's always your main focus. Now you're not able to do that, so now you have to be the super athlete and rely on them to be like a professional and roll into this camp ready to go and in shape. So it's one of those things that I think ultimately, collectively, we all have an idea what football is or what a sport should be. It is going to change our aspect of our mentality, so to speak. But to be quite honest, 30 years ago, we didn't do this either. So college football and everything else has changed over the last 25, 30 years. And so I think it's been something that is definitely going to be a challenge. But I know the kids, they're eager to get back to work. They're eager to get back to school. It's football, man. It's going to be fun. It always is a blast. And I've said it every year with you, Blake. Every game's a playoff game, and this schedule is just it's another thing, man. It's just another playoffs schedule. But a lot of great teams that we're going to play this year, obviously, with great talent.
Right, and the last question on the schedule, it may be hard because of how things have been all summer long, but do you have a gauge on what the North Division will be like this year?
It's interesting because typically, you hear different things with guys coming in summer school and the different out-of-staters. And that's the one thing that this league may be hurt this year more than any time ever in the history is the out-of-state players. With Division I and not having summer school and not having spring ball, some of those kids are not dropping down to the junior college level, and not just from that aspect, from eligibility aspect, or getting different looks. And so I think the league may get hurt in that aspect a little bit, but as far as overall talent, the state of Mississippi always has great talent. It's always going to be an unprecedented amount of athletes overall in the junior college ranks in the country. So, we do feel like the league is still going to be as strong as what it ever has. But I do think that there are some aspects that are going to be hurt. But the division, you're always looking at East Mississippi's always got a great team, and Northwest has a great team. Itawamba played really well down the stretch last year. So at times we played extremely well. So we just obviously, Holmes had a coaching change, but we just have to obviously look at the whole schedule and say there's no easy game on the schedule. There never has been an easy game on the schedule. So I think the North Division is and it could be wide open based on majority of us are not in summer school. Are they in condition? What's the biggest drawbacks? So you don't ever know that until you get into it.
I'm Ricky Ford, president at Northeast Mississippi Community College. If you're a recent high school grad or looking to jumpstart your career, give us a call. We're affordable, convenient, and flexible. Our online education is second nationally among all community colleges. We're one of only 4 community colleges in the world designated as an Apple Distinguished School, so we've proven our innovative learning environment gets our students globally ready. We've been here for you since 1948 and will continue to support you after this pandemic is over because student success is our #1 priority.
Coach Seth, you're from Stones Chapel and played at Pearl River. Now you're back. What does it mean to you to come home?
It's very humbling, and it's an honor. Anytime you get a chance to come back to a place that means a lot to you, a place you love, and you grew up, and try to give back to it and give back to these kids, you're going to get an opportunity to coach. It means a lot. It's overwhelming in a good way.
What are your immediate hopes for the 2020 Wildcats?
Immediate hopes are to win, but obviously to win, you have to get kids here. We haven't had kids here in 4 months. So we realize, we're realistic. We realize when we get here, if we don't work our tails off, we could be in trouble. But no doubt in my mind with the kids we have coming back, if we come in and work, that we can field a competitive product.
Now, you were able to build an incredibly successful career at the high school level of getting complete buy-in from your athletes and students, getting the most out of them. How are you able to do that?
It's a lot like parenting. Obviously, you have to discipline your children, but you got to love them. If your player knows you love him, when you go to discipline him and squeezing on him and trying to get more out of him, he understands it's coming from a good place, a place of love. Because as a coach, that's why you coach, to help elevate a child to become something he didn't know he could be. So it all starts with love with us. Now we're going to get on them, we're going to push them, but they know it's because we love them.
Now, your incoming signing class has a distinct emphasis on in-district signees. Why is that so important to you?
The biggest thing for us, this is a community college. You know, when I was a kid and played here a long time ago, most of the guys that I played with were from surrounding communities. That's why they're called community colleges. So we want to do a good job of trying, always getting good players in here, but we want to make sure we get our guys from in our district. That way, you know, you can fill the stands with people who are from here.
Now, you've had a limited time working with the 2020 team, but who do you anticipate to be the leaders of the team?
I hate to call out anybody just because we haven't even put pads on, and I don't like singling kids out because this is the ultimate team game. You know, but just a couple names that pop out. I think we're going to have great competition at quarterback between Jake Greer and Austin Davidson. Both of those guys had a good 3 months with us. Stetson Moore, Chris Holyfield, Dee Griffin, you know, Trent Frog. I could really just go on, but I think we've got enough pieces on that side if we can block up front to hopefully, again, field a competitive product. And then defensively, you know, anytime you're bringing a guy back who's a preseason All-American, you feel good about Noah being there and a kid we call Missile, Damian Lynch, and Rico, and, you know, several guys that we think can help us as a collective group on that side of the ball.
How do you hope this season ends?
Successful. That would be I hope it ends successful. First, I hope it begins, but once it begins, we hope it ends, you know, in a successful way.
Hey, Wildcats.
Hey, Wildcats. Hey, Wildcats.
We understand these are unprecedented times for all of us.
We know what you're going through.
Because we're living it as well.
As Mississippi begins to open back up.
También estamos trabajando para nuestro regreso.
Of course, these plans could change as guidance from public health officials evolves.
But we plan on opening our campuses in time for this fall semester.
If you're not ready to return to traditional classes,
our online offerings will ensure that your road to graduation doesn't take another detour.
Even with the shutdown, our students and Wildcat family never left our minds.
We have been working daily to ensure that when we return to normal,
your children and loved ones are taken care of.
Pearl River is a special place because of the people.
Because of you.
We can't wait to see you all again soon.
To register for your fall semester,
for our fall semester, visit prcc.edu.
Wildcats never quit.
Los Wildcats nunca se rinden.
Wildcats
never
quit.
What's been your initial impressions of Coach Smith, Trahan, and the rest of the coaching staff?
Oh, they hungry. They excited, ready to get back and win. They bring their winning culture here, and I'm ready for it.
What's the attitude among the players heading into the season?
They all hungry as well. Last year we had a down year, but this year, 2020 is our year.
What's the motivation?
The motivation, everybody want a ring. I told you, it's Pearl River season.
Last year you were among the team's tackle leaders. Did that early success surprise you, or did you expect to heavily feature in the defense?
Well, I set my goals high, but at the end of the year, it still surprised me because I was a freshman, come in, compete. And it was just a blessing to play.
Who do you expect to be among the leaders on the team this year?
I'll say it's several of us, but three in particular, myself, Noah Mitchell, and Jacob. They all hard workers, dedicated, here early, and drive each other.
Why did you choose to come to Pearl River?
At the time, the Pearl River defensive scheme fitted me, and it offered me a chance to play.
What does it mean to you to be looked at as a leader?
It means a lot, but as me being a leader, I also got to show everybody else the right way to do and how to do it. And they're just going to come to me if they need me, and also be able to push them, drive them to be the best player they can be.
If they ask you about Pearl River, what's the sales pitch? What do you tell them? What it means to be a Wildcat, what Pearl River, Papa Bell are all about?
Well, Pearl River, it brings educational, a new environment coming out of the coast. Everything is here different, but it's fun. The coaches are strict on the grades, so you're going to get your education, playtime, they're going to teach you right. They're going to make you a better man and a better player. So that's why.
It feels different because now, you know, as being the head coach, you kind of responsible for everything that happens now. So, you know, the big thing is just making sure everything is in order, you know, as far as the staff meeting rooms and, you know, putting a practice schedule together. So it's different. They've been very welcome to me. They make me and my family feel at home. And we're excited to be around them. I look forward to game day, being around them, you know, on and off the field. It's all about just changing the mindset of everybody. So when they mention Kahoma, you know, we want them to say the new Kahoma because everything we do now is new. So me and my coaching staff, we just bringing the energy to all the fans because we're dependent on them as well as the football players. So we just changed the mindset, you know, losing is not an option. And that's how me and my coaches are taking the approach. Yes, I went out and got Coach Bo Wallace, had a really good career playing in this league at one of the JCs. Actually won the first national title with him. He left there and he was the #1 ranked player in the country and ended up going to Ole Miss, and where he had a really good season, 2 seasons over there, actually beat Alabama. You know, they came in #1. Coach Wallace actually beat them. So bringing in Coach Wallace, he has that mindset to win. Everything he have done in life, he had to work really hard to do it. Also, I brought in Coach Moore, which has been coaching in this league for a long time. And Coach Moore is bringing that same winning attitude. He also played at a high level. He played in the SEC. He also played 4 years in the NFL. So with those guys, you know, just those 2 guys, you know, just bringing the background. Coach Emmanuel, which is our offensive line coach, he was in this league as well with one of our opponents. And, you know, his background, SEC football player, and he had a chance to, you know, be in the NFL. So when you bring those type guys in, you know, that's changing the mindset of the program. We also brought in Coach Patterson, which was at a Division II school. Coach Price, he came with me from Northwest. So Coach Price, I've been knowing him now for 3 years, and I'm excited to still get a chance to work with him. We ended up keeping Coach Bailey. And Coach Bailey has done a really good job since we've been here, you know, as far as recruiting. He kind of, you know, he loves recruiting, and he does a really good job with the kids. You know, he builds a relationship with the kids, and he's a hard worker. So we're excited about each coach on our staff. I look forward to working with them in a ball game. So they work hard. They work very hard. Yeah, the biggest challenge with COVID-19, you know, going into your first year as a head football coach, you kind of try to be organized and try to stay on top of everything. But when COVID-19 came, it kind of throws everything off because, you know, you can't set a time on anything. So it's been hard because we didn't get that spring, you know, to get the chemistry down between me and the coaches. The only thing we was able to do was meet. You know, our players, our returning players, you know, we didn't get that chance to work them out in the spring. So it kind of hurt those guys the most as far as the classroom, because I'm big on the classroom, you know, staying on top of our guys, you know, on online classes. So it's been hard, you know, especially as a first-year head coach. It just added more things to your plate. But, you know, with my coach's help and all the resources at Coahoma, we have done a really good job. You know, our players have done a good job in the classroom this spring and this summer. So we're getting through with it. You know, getting through it. It's been good because what we have done, we have what we call recruiting meeting on Wednesday, and we meet every Wednesday and talk about recruiting, and we have what we call Offer Friday. So we put that program together. That's when we spend time with our new signees as well as our new recruit, our future Tiger. So we're already planning for 21 recruits. We own them. We actually got a big commitment this summer. We feel really good about him that, you know, if he don't get a chance to go Division I, you know, we have a chance to play with him for two football seasons. So we have 2 days that we set aside just for the recruits, and those are Wednesday and Offer Friday. Coach Emmanuel, he's our head of our strength and conditioning program, and what we do, he has put out a workout, and it's about a 30-minute workout every day, and most of the workout is staying outside because we do want to practice social distance. So what we do, each player have to film himself conditioning. You know, we don't just go off, Coach, we was running. They have to film it, and they send it to each position coach. And Coach Emmanuel has done a really good job as far as getting good feedback from our signees and our returning players. So our players, they are buying in to the online, the virtual. So they have been doing a good job, you know, doing it from their homes. Yes, sir, it was business as usual, but we did have to shift our plans because it changed our opponent. You know, as coaches, we had already started breaking down the opponent we thought we were playing. And when that decision came down, you know, we had to change, you know, to a different opponent. But, you know, I'm behind our administration, you know, because safety is first, you know, and it's all about keeping the kids safe, keep the coaches safe, and everybody around the program. So it's business as usual. We'll follow their lead and, you know, just continue to just see, you know, what day or when do we play. There's no intimidation because I think it's all about the person. And one thing about me, I've been in this is my third different team I have been on. And both programs that I was on, you know, we started from the bottom. And, you know, in both programs, we ended up in the playoffs. In one program, we stayed in the championship game. So I'm bringing that same mindset here. And to do that, I had to go get coaches with the same mindset. So we're not intimidated, and we're not going to be intimidated by anybody. So, you know, we want them to know when Coahoma's on your schedule, you know, buckle up your chin strap.
At Coahoma, you'll be a part of a campus community who understands you and accepts you for who you are. A community that, from its very beginning, has worked to ensure that its students' dreams and goals become a reality, no matter where they come from. With a long history of educating generation after generation of successful Tiger alumni, Coahoma offers a unique opportunity for you to be a part of our nation's rich cultural history. Everyone deserves access to a college education that prepares them for success. That's why our caring faculty and staff go the extra mile to make sure you reach your goals. With so many opportunities to grow, connect, engage, and relate with like-minded individuals like you, let Coahoma be the place where you discover your true potential and prepare to make your mark on the world. You belong here. At Coahoma, we are family, and we'll take you further.
Well, I've always wanted to play college football, and I went to Faulkner University for a little bit, and then things didn't work out there, so I went home and coached for a year. Went back to my high school and coached for a year, and you know, luckily Bo got a job here at Coahoma, my brother Bo, and you know, he talked to Coach Macon, you know, showed him my film, and Coach Macon, you know, brought me in, and you know, that's what it is. I mean, I don't really think about it like that. It's more of like, you know, I always loved the game, you know, but of course, watching him grow up, you get that, you know, I want to do that. I want to, you know, play in the SEC, you know, being 10, 11 years old, seeing every SEC stadium, you know, it's just, man, just love it. I love the game. I love everything about it. But, you know, he's helped me so much in the process of, like, I know more about the game than probably most quarterbacks my age do, just from him, watching him, seeing him, listening to, you know, everything he talks about. So, right, it's been tough. It was crazy. I feel like we were right getting going when everything shut down. But you know, I started working out with the strength coach at my high school, and you know, we had a good plan, and we did a lot of running, running in the sand, and agility drills and things like that. It's tough, you know, because everything going on. But you know, I had to buy a net and just throw into a net. I had 3 balls. I had to throw them, go get them, come back, and so it's tough. But I got some good work in over the break for sure. That ain't no doubt about it. You know, I knew there was something special about this when Bo played. I saw, you know, this is real football down here. This ain't no game. So I'm very excited to be able to compete, and I feel like we have a team that, you know, can compete. You know, these guys, they work hard and they go hard, and these coaches, man, I'm so excited about these coaches and what they can do. They don't have a history of losing, so nobody here is expecting to lose. You know, we're here to compete in every single game, and that's what I'm excited for the most, just getting out there and competing with everybody. Right, it's been good. I started here in January, and so I got to, you know, get around my teammates a little bit and get some good work. But you know, every place you go eat, there's usually somebody that says something about, you know, Coahoma football. Like they really see what we're doing here, and it's exciting, you know, to have a community that says, hey, you know, we got you guys back, and we want to support you, and we're excited, and that's the best thing about this is, you know, taking a team that's not known for really winning, and, you know, just trying to make them relevant. That's what we want to do. We want to compete, and you know, that's the big thing. We're ready to compete with anybody.
You feel that atmosphere change.
You do feel it. You feel it in the weight room when we're running. You know, ain't nobody bending over. Nobody's, you know, everybody's full speed ahead. Everybody's, you know, gelling. I feel like right before we, you know, COVID broke out, I feel like we were on a roll, man. We were dominating our sprints, dominating the workout. It was like, we want more, we want more. But yeah, I'm super excited for it, just because, you know, nobody wants to lose anymore. Nobody wants to lose. Everybody wants to win and compete, and that's all we want to do is just compete. Man, relieved. I thought we were going to have to play in the spring or not at all. So knowing that we're actually going to get a season, and it's super exciting. So I was very excited when I heard that. I feel really good about it. I like our teammate. I like our team. I like our coaches. I feel like we can compete in every single game that we play in, and that's all you can ask for. So I'm really excited for that. Just being more vocal to everybody, and you know, letting everybody know each down, you know, we got another down. Every time something bad happens, we got another play to play. You know, keep your head up and keep going. Just the work everybody's putting in. I mean, we don't want it to be the way it used to be here. We want to, you know, bring passion to the practice field every day. You know, energy, flying around. You know, we see people are talking about us and noticing. So, you know, we just don't want to talk about it anymore. We want to really be about it.
Hey, I'm Tim Stowers. I'm the head football coach at Southwest Mississippi Community College. Looking forward to the 2020 season. You know, we've been through a lot of things in the past few months, getting ready to get the kids out there on the field and be competitive in the SEC of junior college football. We're really looking forward to the season. We feel like we have made tremendous progress since we've been here on the defensive side of the ball and in some areas of the kicking game. Where we want to really vastly improve is on the offensive side of the ball. We've been a little bit more sporadic. Maybe really haven't really found the trigger man we're really looking for yet, but we feel like we've got him in-house now. We just got to find out who that guy is going to be, but we got some really good candidates to be the starting quarterback. We normally play two quarterbacks. But so far we've been pretty sporadic on offense, moving the football, especially rushing the football. But I think we're going to be a bigger, faster, stronger team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Like I said, we made a lot of progress on the defense. Actually, the first year I was here, I think we had about 5 or 6 running clocks. Last year, I think we only ended the season with 1 running clock. So we've gotten a lot better. We're building a program. We're taking it one step at a time. It doesn't happen overnight, but we've got a great institution to recruit to. We got nice facilities. Dr. Bishop and our president and Coach Wallace, our athletic director, provide outstanding leadership for us. And once again, we're looking forward to competing in the best JUCO league in the country.
Alright, so you're looking to make a career decision that's crazy smart and won't break the bank. Then let's start with tuition guarantee and a home field advantage. That's Meridian Community College, and we're changing the game. We've got heavy metal drilling and saving lives. Or how about building a rover that could drive on Mars? We're more than grades in a classroom. We're your Red Bull monster shot of knowledge that will help you own that next job. This is not just the 13th year, it's the gateway to your entire career. Are you ready for more? Well, the Eagle has landed. Find your wings.